Welcome to this Franklin Public Schools screencast for PowerTeacher Gradebook. In the screencast, we're going to take a look at elementary teachers and how they should enter standards and marks for the end of the term. To get into your gradebook, just as a refresher, you log into your PowerTeacher account and you're going to go over to this left tab and click on Gradebook. When you get to this page, you click Launch Gradebook, and that is going to pop your gradebook open into a separate window. So I already have mine open here in the background, so we'll take a look at it here. To enter standard marks for final grade time for the end of the term. For elementary teachers, you are going to take care of your standards and marks in your homeroom class as well as any of the content areas that you teach. To enter the marks, we used to do it in PowerTeacher. Now we are doing it in the gradebook. They took them out of PowerTeacher and they put them here in the gradebook. How you get to them, as an example, is we first click on our class up here in the top left. So I'm going to click on first homeroom, my AM section. And I'm going to make sure I'm on the score sheet tab. And you want to verify what term you're doing these marks for. So we're doing these for quarter one as our example, so you want to make sure that this box says quarter one. Now the mode here on the score sheet that we've been using all along, K through 6 teachers, is the assignment mode, where you can see your different assignments start to add up over time. When it gets near the end of the term, you can actually do this at any time during the quarter, you have to click over and look at your final grade area. When I click at Final Grade, it brings up all the different standards that relate to that class. Now you can pop between these two just by clicking on the buttons here. So I'm going to look at my Final Grade area, and here it is showing the different standards. So this is where we will enter them. There's a few tips and tricks with this. First, if we take a look here, if you put your mouse over any of these column headers, it displays a little pop-out box that shows you what the full text of the standard is. Some people, when we were doing training, said, oh, but I can't read it. Well, if you just do the mouse over it, it does show what it is. If you want to see it on screen while you're entering the marks, you can click the little arrow at the top of the header, at the top of any of these headers, and it pops open another little window down here that you can click on and drag. You can click on the bar where the standard is listed and drag it up or down and position it where you like it. So as an example, maybe I'll position this near the bottom of my grade book so that when I'm filling in this column, I can look down here and see that this displays a positive attitude. That's the standard I'm going to fill in. Now when I go click on another cell in another one, notice at the bottom it changes to that one. So this way you can always have it on screen. There is another screencast located on the wiki that shows you if you want to print a blank copy of your grade level report card and have that hard copy with you, while you do this, you can do that. So look on the wiki for that screencast, and that'll walk you through the steps on printing a blank report card. So here are the standard marks, how we fill them in. First, let's look at citizenship. Citizenship is effort. Now, this is effort for grades 3, 4, and 5. So if you're grades 3, 4, and 5, you will fill out citizenship as if it was the effort for that particular class. That pulls onto the report card and is listed as effort on the report card. And if you remember, we do this with the numerical values 1, 2, and 3. So you can type in 1, 2, or 3 depending on the value you want to give your student for effort in that class. If you don't want to physically type the marks, you can right-click or control-click on a cell for that student, and it brings up a little submenu. And if you right-click or control-click, you can then mouse over the grades area, and it shows you what the marks are that are available for that particular standard. So for citizenship, it's showing here that I can click on 1, 2, or 3. If I go into any of these other ones where different marks are, if I right-click or control-click and I go over grades, I get the choice of whatever marks pertain to that standard. Another way to fill in these marks is to do a fill score where it mass fills the column. So if it's a particular standard that you know your students are mostly all receiving the same mark or close to the same mark, and you want to mass fill it and then just fix those few, this is how you do that. You first click in a cell for that standard, and you go up to Tools, and you go to Fill Scores. That brings up the Fill Final Grades window, and now you get a choice. Do you want to fill students that currently don't have a grade listed or a standard mark listed, or do you want to replace all of them? So if I was going to replace all, let's say for this particular standard, most of the students were getting the plus, I can click that and hit OK, and it is going to mass fill the column with the plus. Now, if not all students are getting the plus, but the majority are, I can jump around to those few quick students, or quickly jump around to those few students, take those out, and maybe they're just getting normal progress, and in this case, normal progress you would leave as a blank. So when looking at these marks, these are the same marks we've been using the last few years, nothing's different. When you do fill in for normal progress, you don't actually physically fill anything in. If you leave it blank, it will print on the report card as an asterisk, and asterisk means normal progress. So if you leave a field blank, it will fill in as normal progress. Otherwise, you can choose plus, or you can choose the check. The check is represented by the slash, the keyboard slash. And please note that this slash is the same slash that is on the question mark key of the keyboard. So if you decide to type these in, if I wanted to type the slash, I just hit that question mark key that pops it in. I hit return and I bounce down and I fill these in. If you decide to type in the plus, please note you do have to hold shift and hit the plus key, which is up near your backspace or your delete key. And if you hold shift and hit those, if you hold shift, hit the plus, hit return, it jumps down. You do have to release shift when you hit return. So if you like to type or want to type those in, you can quickly do it that way as well. Or you can do a mass fill like we said and take out those few and replace those few that need to be replaced. So that is how you fill in your standard marks. Now you will do this for each of your content areas as well. So I am going to jump to my science class. I'm going to choose not to save this since this is just for a demo. Normally I would click yes to save. When I go to science, I look here and here are the different standards that relate to science. And my window down here, if I click on the standard or click on that column, it still tells me down here what that standard is. Now, for K2 teachers specifically, if you see, whenever you see citizenship, K through 2 teachers do not have to fill in citizenship because effort is listed here as a mark. This will get fixed at some point in the future. We're only able to turn citizenship on by building, so we can't turn it off for some grade levels and leave it on for others. So please, K2 teachers, do not fill in citizenship, only fill in the effort grade. And it is the same grade scale. It's 1, 2, and 3. So that is how you fill in your standards and marks. Again, you're going to do this for each class that you should be giving those marks for, clicking save as you go, and then these will be pulled onto the report card. And we'll have handouts and other videos that help you on the wiki, so please do check there on the PowerSchool wiki, so please do check there for more information. Thanks so much for watching.